motherfuckers think that just because a guy reads comics he can't start some shit? I'll fucking take all you want!
No violence. You're heavy.
Home again, home again.
You betray the law!
Class is pain 101.
This one's for you, boy.
I guess one person can make a difference.
Alright, welcome everybody to the panel cast, I guess. This is the first panel cast that I've done in a long time. I don't know why I haven't done one in a long... I don't know why I would do one again. Fuck comics. I don't care about comics, and I damn sure don't care about my listening audience. I don't care about the Procrastinators fans, and I don't care about a dang old thing. Joining me once again is the Boozy Floozy.
Hi.
She's here to talk. She knows about comics too, and so do I. I know the most about comics. We know the best comics. We play the best comics, and we're the best at them. We read the best comics, and we're the best at talking about them. And this is the panel cast, and this is what the comics that were this week. What did we... Well, we didn't really read anything. I haven't read a comic in 2 years. I haven't read a comic in nigh on to 17 years. Ever since your older brother was born and done sent our family spiraling into poverty, you little shit. Let's talk about the Uncanny Avengers, number 18. What did you think about this comic that you didn't read?
It was good.
It was a good comic. You kind of read it over my shoulder.
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I'm out of the loop. The last thing that I remember hearing anything about, like, Red Skull and Xavier is that Red Skull apparently, like, ate Professor X's brain or some garbage.
Yeah.
I don't fucking know.
Yeah, that happened about, like 3 years ago or some shit. And it's just been this long, dragged-out storyline of, like, the Red Skull has all of Xavier's psychic powers now. And they're trying to find him and kill him and get him. It's the Avengers. It's Rogue, and it's Deadpool and Cable, and it's the Quicksilver is on the team, and the Wasp is on the team.
That's actually a really good team.
Yeah. It's a pretty good book. And, you know, Captain America was in charge of them, but he got mad at them and he fired them all. So now they're Rogue. So now Rogue's gone rogue. That's like a Gamer's Tavern joke.
Wow.
Yeah, I guess Rogue has gone rogue. But now they're not officially sanctioned anymore. They don't have Captain America's blessing anymore. It's just a team of fucking pissed off people who don't give a shit. They just want to kill the Red Skull. That's their only mission. It's Deadpool and
Which Captain America?
the only real Captain America, the white one.
Not Blackton America.
No,
Not that one.
not not Jonestown, USA. Not Welcome to Booferville, population 1. Not Welcome to the Jungle. We got fun and games. Not Jigaboo of the Jungle.
Stop.
Watch out for that tree. With the help of his friend, an ape named Ape. Okay, so this is a comic about black people, I guess. That's what we were talking about, right? We were talking about how the blacks came to America.
Brain.
The blacks came to America, and they ate Professor Xavier's brain with... Is that the Little Mermaid I'm hearing? Interrupting my hilarious anecdote? Turn that shit off!
What is happening?
My shitty Let's Plays are playing in the background of my shitty podcast, and it's ruining both of them. As I was saying, this is a comic about how the first blacks came to America and ate Charles Xavier's brain at Thanksgiving dinner with the Pilgrims and then slaughtered all the Indians. You know...
That sounds right.
Those blacks, they don't know about their black privilege that they got from scalping all those Indians. The blacks invented scalping. Scalping tickets.
I'll have to take your word for it. History was never my strength in school.
Did you major in herstory? Because you're such a vag-thumping feminist?
I don't... What?
You know, you know, there's Bible thumpers and then there's vag thumpers.
Is this because of my sandwich comment earlier?
Yeah.
Are you fucking serious? This guy, I swear. What the fuck?
The only thing that's going to be thumping that vag is the strong right hand of D. Trump's America.
Boy, don't I know it. Doesn't that happen in January?
I don't
Oh, boy.
give a shit. Donald Trump isn't even funny to me anymore. I don't care about anything. Nothing's funny anymore. I'm a comic book boy. Welcome. So in this comic, on the cover, it's got a picture. And inside the comic, there's more pictures. And some of the pictures have little word balloons. It starts with like a flashback of Rogue, but it's a dream she's having. It's a scary nightmare. And then she goes, the Red Skull, he's got brain stuff. He fucks with Quicksilver. And she goes to beat him up. She goes, I'm going to kill him. And she goes and gets him, but it's all a trick. And at the end of the comic, she pulls a fast one. He pulls a fast one on her. And so now she's hypnotized too. And so this storyline, this storyline is just, it keeps chugging along. It'll never end. They'll never kill the Red Skull.
Yeah, that's like why? Why even try?
Like, why even have like the storyline? Why even start a storyline of like we're gonna kill one of these big villains when you know that they're never gonna kill any of the big villains?
Well, nobody thought that they'd kill Wolverine, but look at that.
I mean, like that's kind of why like characters like the Punisher don't really work in comics as much. I mean, the Punisher works on his own, but like when you add in like when you start thinking like, okay, why is the Kingpin still alive?
And Kingpin's getting his own comic.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, if you're not gonna have the balls to kill off these bad guys, then I guess fuck everything. It's all worthless.
Well, I mean, didn't technically he kill Kingpin and Punisher Max? But the Punisher Max series is its own entire different universe.
It's not even in the canon. It's a different
universe.
Well, anyways, that was Uncanny Avengers, and it sure was a comic. What's the next comic? What the hell is this?
I don't know.
What is this website?
I don't know what else you read.
I mean, what is this stack of comics that I purchased legally at a comic book store? Ooh.
I like some of these comic books.
Which ones?
I like comic books.
Okay, here's Rocket Raccoon #1.
Yeah.
And he's a little raccoon boy.
Yeah. He looks sad.
He's stranded on Earth because the Civil War II, their spaceship got blown up. So all the Guardians are having their own solo adventures. They're all stranded on Earth or some shit.
Yeah.
He's eating a pretzel out of the garbage can.
And he fucking hates Earth.
He doesn't like Earth because he's a raccoon boy. He's scratching a man. He's killing him.
Good.
He's pissed off, and then he goes, oh man, this is a really shitty episode of the Panelcast. This is a real clusterfuck. This is a train wreck. But anyways, that's Rocket Raccoon #1, and he's I guess the Human Torch is in this. I clicked on the wrong thing, and oh boy, what is happening here? But anyways, let's just go to the last page and see how this story resolves itself.
Dog butt.
Let's see, what's the, I guess it would be page 22 here. Let's see what happens for all.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell that is, but so he's got a comic, so that's something.
I don't even know what came out anymore.
Oh, Spider-Man. The more of this. Nope, that's not the Spider-Man I was thinking of.
Black Spider-Man.
Black Spider-Man.
Miles Morales. I like Miles.
Niles the Niglet.
Oh my God.
I clicked on it thinking that there was a new Spider-Man, but it was the wrong Spider-Man. It was a little black baby.
I thought we didn't care about Spider-Man no more. Hey, did you read the new Venom yet?
I thought you were going to say, I thought we didn't care about race anymore.
Oh. Did you read the new Venom? At all?
The new Venom.
Yeah, there was an issue, they're only up to 2 issues now, but it was actually really good. There's a new host for the symbiote now. And it kind of seems like they're going the Ghost Rider route.
How many new hosts does there have to be for
There's only been 3. Well, maybe there's been more.
There was Eddie Brock, and there was Flash Thompson, and there was probably 10 other guys.
No, there's a Scorpion, but we don't talk about that.
Oh yeah, Max Gargle Balls.
Yeah, don't fucking talk about
Max Gargle Balls.
I like that. Yeah. I actually really like the new Venom comic. They are going back to the roots of the symbiote working for evil again, I guess, basically. And they're kind of taking for those of you who have been reading the all-new Ghost Rider, they're kind of taking that route with the symbiote now. I don't want to give away too much. I don't want to spoil too much, but I don't know. They're only up to 2 issues, and I've really liked both of them so far.
I can't stop farting.
Oh yeah, this guy.
Ah!
This guy.
Ah! Ah!
Did you?
No!
Did it squeak out?
No! Ah! I'm shitting my pants!
Are you?
So there's All-Star Batman number 5. I think this is the last one of this arc.
Yeah.
It's by Scott Snyder.
Scott Snyder, who is a wonderful writer, but god damn it, I don't fucking like the art.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
Yeah, he's a good writer.
Nah.
What don't you like of Scott Snyder's?
All of it.
All of it, really?
I hate the everything he does is just a hackier, lamer version of what Grant Morrison did. The Court of Owls is just a lamer Black Glove. His Joker is just like a homo, a gay. He wants to suck Batman's dick like blatantly.
That's
He
homophobic.
ruined the fucking Joker by making him gay. It is homophobic, and I don't care. It's gay. He writes his little Batman comics, and he draws a little word balloon. He draws a Joker. He says, "Hey Joker, say something gay." And then he writes in a little word balloon, "I'm gay."
I just like to imagine that all of Joker's like word bubbles are shaped like wieners, and they're like, "You gotta stop doing that."
Yeah,
It's not okay.
I hated all of his Joker stories.
I don't really remember the Joker stories very well. I just remember them being really fucking
Actually,
gross.
that's a lie because I liked Endgame.
See, I thought that one was kind of anticlimactic.
So of his 2 Joker stories, I hated one of them.
I liked his Bloom story.
Oh yeah, that was an interesting character.
I liked Bloom.
But I hated the whole Gordon Batman thing. We're just talking amongst ourselves now with no context for anyone who now even give a shit. But anyways, this is All-Star Batman. This is his new thing, and it was a cool story. Some shit about Two-Face,
Yeah.
I feel like this comic took a while to come out, so by the time you get to the end of the story, you don't remember what the beginning of the story was.
Two-Face put a hit out on Batman.
Yeah, basically, there's more to it than that.
Yeah, I know.
But
Tweedledee and Tweedledum? What the fuck?
But anyways, at the end of the story, basically, Two-Face has this cure, this little this thing, and it's gonna either make him all Harvey or all Two-Face. Whichever side of his personality is the strongest, that side is gonna take over.
Yeah.
But at the end of it, Batman says "fuck you" and he breaks the cure, because he says that everybody in the world has to make the choice every day, which side is stronger. So I'm not gonna give you the easy way out, you little punk ass bitch.
No, I don't like that.
You don't like that?
I don't like
Well,
that.
Batman explains it better than I do. I explained it bad.
That's fair.
But anyways, that's Batman for you. That was a good story, I think. I don't remember it with perfect clarity, but video games. I mean comics. This is comics. Oh yeah, The Dark Knight 3 Master Race number 7.
That only took a million years to finally come out.
Yeah. So I didn't actually read this issue. I skimmed it, but it looks cool. I've been reading up to this point, but I don't really give a shit. So I've been reading comics sometimes, and when I was a little boy, I'm a comic, and so in this comic, so this is the third in the Dark Knight trilogy of the Frank Miller man. Frank Miller is I guess you'd call him one of the seminal comic book boys of the 80s.
Yeah.
It was like him and Alan Moore and Grant Morrison. Mm-hmm. They all made comics cool.
Some kind of triad, I guess.
Yeah.
Wouldn't Warren Ellis be in there somewhere?
Huh?
Wouldn't Warren Ellis be in there somewhere?
Warren Ellis and fucking Neil Gaiman and all of them,
Yeah.
all the old boys. But yeah. Frank Miller, he was a great writer. He's one of the best of all time. A lot of Frank Miller stories are my favorite stories of all comics.
Really?
Yeah, Daredevil Born Again is fantastic. His Wolverine, which he didn't write, he just drew it. Claremont wrote it. But the original Wolverine was great. And the Dark Knight Returns is still a great story. It still holds up. They did an animated version with fucking RoboCop as Batman, which was the coolest thing, Peter Welling. And it was amazing. It was the coolest thing of all time. But that's a good story. So everyone really loved him. He was one of the most famous comic book writers. He was very critically acclaimed. His stories are, among the most influential and widely adapted. If you've seen Batman v Superman, you've basically seen,
Oh yeah.
It's Batman v Superman is just a bastardized, crappier version of everything that Frank Miller ever wrote.
Yeah.
But he sort of stopped being so critically acclaimed at a certain point, and everyone kind of turned on him, and they started saying, he's gone crazy, he's racist, he hates Islam,
He's a misogynist.
he's a misogynist, he's the whole thing. So people stopped liking him, and they, his stories started getting worse, I guess. His art got a lot more stylized.
I don't really care that much for Miller's art style.
Well, people have always said that his art has gotten worse, and they're right, looking at it. I was going to defend him, but then I'm looking at it right now, and I'm like, yeah.
I've never been a big fan of Miller's artwork, and I've never really been a big fan of John Romita Jr.'s artwork. At least not any of the more recent.
I like John Romita Jr.'s
I don't like
artwork.
John Romita Jr.'s more recent art style. He had a different art style when he first started, and then it progressively started changing, and now they're all sausage fingers.
Well, that's sort of how it is with Frank Miller's art. You can tell that it's still his style, but it's evolved in such a way that it's gotten more and more stylized and cartoony, to the point where it's, the anatomy is very weird, and a lot of people hate it, and I hate it. But it's not so bad. But anyways, so he wrote The Dark Knight Returns a million years ago in the 80s. It's a story about old ass Batman. He's old and he's retired. He's bitter. He comes back to kick more ass for one last hurrah. Then years later, in the year 2000 or something, he wrote The Dark Knight Strikes Again, which was the second of that series. And in that series, everyone hated it. It was poopy. I have it. I've never actually read the second one because everyone's told me it's bad, but I know what happens in it. It turns out that Dick Grayson turned into a spooky bad guy man, and nobody liked it. But anyways, point is, nobody liked the second one, and nobody likes Frank Miller anymore. But he's come back to do The Dark Knight 3 now, the third in his trilogy, I guess, of this Bat saga that he started way back in the 80s.
Which honestly has sold exceptionally well, but
Yeah.
it's had some issues with, being churned out on time.
Yeah.
The last issue, I remember specifically it getting canceled for resolicitation at a later date, when I was dealing with it. At least twice, I think. And, that always kind of puts a wrench in things, honestly.
Yeah. Well, yeah. The big question going into this from everyone is that, does Frank Miller still have it? Can he still tell a good Batman story? Because, everybody hates him now. He doesn't have the same, his name doesn't carry the same weight as it once did because so much of his recent stuff has been so critically panned, like his All-Star Batman and Robin from a couple years back.
I remember that.
Which is basically a meme because it's so weirdly aggressive and cynical and out of character. Out of character, even for Batman, is way too cynical. It reads more like Rorschach as Batman. Mm-hmm. And it's a really weird, hilariously bad comic. It was so bad that, when the first few issues of All-Star Batman and Robin came out, everybody hated it so much and said it was so terrible that, by the fifth issue, Frank Miller had to go, oh, no, it's a parody, it's campy. He had to, backpedal and play that card. So then, from issue 5 on, he tries to make it even more extreme to make it seem like he was trying to make a parody of Batman from the get-go, but he's not fooling anyone. So it just gets weirder and dumber and weirder and crappier.
Wow.
But it was not meant to be a parody. That's bullshit. He screwed the pooch on that one big time. And everyone hated it, and nobody likes him anymore as a writer. But he's gone back to the storyline that made him famous in the first place. And I've really liked this so far, The Dark Knight 3. Have you been reading it?
Yeah, and my customers have really enjoyed it too. I have some really avid fans of this particular comic, primarily because I really enjoyed the first Dark Knight. But much like you said earlier, a lot of people didn't seem to enjoy the second one very much. I think everyone's just kind of patiently waiting to see how this one concludes. I've yet to have anybody actually like go out of their way to cancel it or anything.
Yeah.
Nobody has actually said anything like, oh, well, I don't like where this is going, just take it off my sub. So, was it only supposed to be a 7-part series? I can't remember. Is it 8 parts? 7's a weird number to me.
This one definitely ends on there's gonna be at least one more part.
Okay, so it's an 8-part series. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I think it's good, but you're also talking to somebody who I'm not really that big of a Frank Miller fan.
Really?
A lot of people are always like, The Dark Knight is one of the best stories of all time, but anytime I go back and I talk to people about my favorite Batman stories, The Dark Knight's never there.
I don't know if I'd call it like one of my favorite Batman stories of all time, but I mean, everything in it is clearly important to like the pop culture mythos of the character.
And you're right about that. There's a lot of people that really like the Robin that's in that particular Dark Knight, even though
Carrie
I
Kelly.
don't like Carrie that much.
Yeah.
I have conflicted feelings about her.
It seems like she was never really trained at all at any point.
She was, even in the movie, she
Yeah.
just kind of puts on
Like
the
she just
outfit.
shows up and she's Robin.
Yeah, and like even in the movie at the end when she's like running up next to Batman's tank, she's just like, she's there for moral support, but she's wearing the costume. I don't know. But I have an appreciation for the whole like Batman versus Superman thing in The Dark Knight. I thought that was really good.
Yeah.
But it's like you said, BVS basically bastardized that.
Yeah. The great thing about The Dark Knight 3 is that it really seems like it's coming from like a place of catharsis from Frank Miller. Like it seems like it's a little bit more optimistic in tone than some of his other stuff. Mm-hmm. Because he garnered such a reputation for cynicism. And like a lot of his philosophies about Batman and superheroes in general, I disagree with too, because he always, talks trash about Batman shouldn't have a Robin that's gay and that's kid stuff, and Batman, and when superheroes, Superman shouldn't be dating Lois Lane. He should be dating Wonder Woman because they're both strong and they can have sex through a mountain. And
and there's even like an entire series
Yeah.
about Superman and Wonder Woman being together and breaking up.
Yeah.
If you really want to get like into the philosophy or the mind of Frank Miller and how he feels about superheroes and things like that, I feel like Sin City is probably like one of those books that you need to read.
Like
even though I didn't care that much for Sin City.
Like I've always I've gravitated more towards like a Grant Morrison sort of philosophy, like the stuff that he says in interviews and stuff.
When you understand him,
I always feel like, yeah, this guy really gets it. Like, because Grant Morrison's whole thing is that like he has zero cynicism about superheroes whatsoever. Like he goes into every book like, well, yeah, of course Batman would have a Robin. Of course he would have a best friend who's 12 years old. Why wouldn't you? If you're a billionaire and you've got $1 billion, why wouldn't you fight crime with a little boy? He's your best friend. And like he's always so like he loves everything about superheroes, and like he goes into every comic like wanting to talk about like he wants to incorporate like the entire mythos and like the whole continuity of like 70 years of Batman into it. Mm-hmm. Grant Morrison's my favorite. He's a good old little puppy dog boy is what he is.
Did Grant Morrison do the Black Mirror?
I don't know.
I don't remember. I just remember the Black Mirror being like one of my favorite titles. But yeah, going on. Yeah, Grant Morrison's great.
Yeah, and so I guess they're sort of opposites because Frank Miller has always been more cynical, it seems like. But in The Dark Knight 3, he seems like he's writing it from a place of like wanting to be more optimistic again, because the whole story of this one is that Batman and Superman are working together again, and they're really kicking ass and coming together and saving the day. There's this like religious sect of assholes inside the bottled city of Kandor who breaks out, who they're all Kryptonian, so they're all as strong as Superman. So they break out and start wreaking havoc and trying to destroy the world. And Batman says, I'm 107,000 years old, but I ain't gonna stand for this. He walks his rickety ass up a mountain, and he goes to like the Fortress of Solitude, and he thaws Superman out of his block of ice, because Superman, he's just been hanging out in a block of ice, like he doesn't give a shit anymore. And he goes to the block of ice and says, hey Kent, get your ass out of that ice. We gotta beat people up. And Superman, he hears him and he's like, what? We gotta beat people up! Yeah! And then Superman, and they just beat people up. And there's this great scene where like, they're fighting all these Kryptonians. So Batman, he arranges to have it like, he does some shit and it's like raining kryptonite rain, and it's weakening all the Kryptonians. but then they're still beating him up because there's so many of them or whatever. But then Superman shows up, and he's so like the Batman armor from like the first book, where Batman wore that like super powerful armor to fight Superman. It's in Batman v Superman, the movie, the same armor.
Yeah.
He does like a callback to this, where because it's raining kryptonite, Superman gets in like his own Batman armor to help beat up the Kryptonians and just punching them with his fists and stuff. It's super cool. It's the best. It's my favorite comic. Everyone, I think this is a good one.
Yeah, and in the latest issue, there's this great scene.
Look at this shit. Yeah.
Yeah, no, we're looking at the scene right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure Jesse will put it up on
So
the
spoilers,
podcast.
I guess, but
Yeah.
yeah.
But it's just this great moment that Bruce and Kent both share together
Yeah.
towards the end of the latest issue. But yeah, I will say one thing about Frank Miller's artwork. Like, I know I already said that I don't really like it. I'm really emphasizing that with the way that he draws Wonder Woman. Oh, dear
yeah.
God. She is...
There's that vag-thumping feminist coming out of you again.
No, it's not feminist.
I actually agree. I don't like the way he draws Wonder Woman at all.
I'm gonna get reamed for it. I just fucking know it. But she's just so aesthetically unappealing to me, drawn this way.
Yeah, she's really weird looking in this, in his style. He kind of draws her like a spooky person.
Yeah.
I mean, she's got that like spooky
bulky,
helmet. Yeah.
Like fucking, God.
She looks like she's like.
She looks like she needs to be wearing pants.
She's like a fat soccer mom on steroids in a bikini that's like 10 sizes too small for her.
She's like the soccer mom from the earlier seasons of Family Guy. Remember, he like he punches this guy that he assumes is a man, and then everybody starts screaming. He's like, "Oh, my wife!" And then he's like, "What? You mean your husband?" And then you start hearing like crying. And he's like, "Ah, she went into labor. She had a baby." He's like, "You mean he went into labor? He had a baby." That's kind of what it reminds me of, the way that she's drawn. It's really not. It's not good looking. I'm sorry. It's shallow. I don't care. I don't like it.
Hey man, there's nothing worse than a woman who ain't pretty.
Yeah, I guess.
That's your best quality, you know? That you're #not fat.
Oh my God.
Civil War 2 came out. The last one of that, finally. That's over.
Fucking... Okay, so once again, with Civil War, they announced that this was only going to be like a 7-part series. And before this, they did the same thing with Secret Wars. But then all of a sudden, they were like, "We liked this so much that we're going to tag on an extra issue that's going to take forever to fucking release." And, you know, Civil War 2, when it first released, like, I was into it. I may not have been as into it as I was the original Civil War. In fact, I feel like the only reason why they even came out with Civil War 2 is because of the fucking movie.
Well, yeah, obviously.
But it's taken so long for them to actually conclude this fucking storyline that I've stopped caring.
Yeah.
I really have. You know, especially since like previews already came out with stuff saying, you know, here's our next storyline, here's Monsters Unleashed about to happen, and it's like...
It's gotten to the point where the events are so bloated and so long that the next ones are already coming out by the time they're even over.
Yeah, they did that with Infamous Iron Man. Like, I remember a ton of people going, "Wow, spoilers much for Civil War," when Infamous Iron Man #1 came out.
Like, Avengers, or X-Men versus Inhumans is already coming out, and this one has been... So that's the next event, and it's
already done!
It's already done.
I think IVX is already done.
Well, yeah, I've already...
If I'm wrong, I'm sorry.
I've already ranted about Civil War 2, so I think AVX only had, like... Issue #1 is out.
No, IVX. IVX definitely has...
What did I say?
2 issues. You said AVX.
Same thing. It's the same shit.
You're kind of right.
Except...
Wait, no. I'm thinking of, no, that's not IVX I'm thinking of. There was another one before that where it's all about, it's like a 4-part series, and it was all about, like, I guess the X-Men getting wiped out or something. I already forgot. You know what? Fucking forget it. I don't know what I'm talking about. Is that Harley Quinn I see?
Yeah, I guess this came out too. Harley Quinn's Little Black Book,
Oh,
number
look,
5.
issue #5. Didn't the first issue come out last year?
Harley Quinn has like 10 different series. I don't even know what I'm looking at here. But the cover is clearly, it's a nod to the old Muhammad Ali versus Superman cover. Mm-hmm. And she's in a skimpy little
Hey, look,
thing
it's Obama!
Get out of here, Obama. You're not relevant. You're not relevant anymore. You're just another black nigger.
Obama!
Welcome to Panelcast, the most racist podcast on the internet. It's supposed to be a family-friendly comic book show, and it's just an excuse for me to say the N-word 50 times every week.
Obama.
So I didn't read this comic. I don't think I need to read it to know that it's garbage.
Oh yeah, we both have an issue with current quality Harley Quinn comic
I have a lot
books.
that I could say about how much... I mean, just her design alone. This is like... Wait.
What is that?
Wait a minute.
Look at that artwork.
Wait a minute.
Look at her.
I don't even think this is a recent comic. I think someone just uploaded this... Because this is...
Maybe?
No, it says February... Yeah, February 2016.
Well, that's number 1.
Yeah.
What
Maybe
happened?
it is a recent comic.
No, number 1 was...
I mean, she's... Because in this, she still looks like she has her...
issue number 5. Here you go.
This is still her new 52 design, but they've since redesigned her again, and she looks a little bit better now, but still shit.
Well, they redesigned her to make her look more like the Suicide Squad
Yeah.
version from the movies, which...
But she
Whatever.
still has the crappy bleached skin.
Look at the wall-eyed... Who hired this artist?
Ugh.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I don't like it.
Yeah, the black and red thing is terrible, too. I mean, the hair.
Okay, so... Again, this is another thing that I'm probably going to get reamed for, because everybody loves Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn is like one of the most subscribed comic books that I know of that DC has released. It is the Deadpool of the DC universe. Everybody wants every single Harley Quinn fucking anything when it comes out. Harley Quinn and Poison Ivy, Harley Quinn and Power Girl, Harley Quinn, her little black fucking book. God, what else? Harley Quinn's little gang or whatever. God, there's so much fucking Harley Quinn.
The gang of Harleys.
Actually, I don't think there was a Harley Quinn in Poison Ivy.
The gang of Harleys, which is basically Deadpool and the Mercs for money.
Yeah. Again, this Harley Quinn is DC's answer to Deadpool for Marvel.
Which is... She shouldn't be, because that's not what the character is.
That's not what Bruce... Okay, so Bruce Timm was the one who created this
Paul
character.
Dini created her.
Paul Dini, okay, thank you. But Bruce Timm was the one who, designed her character, I think. Or at least...
He drew her.
I think he finalized the design, if I remember right. I think Paul Dini's original design.
And Paul Dini, to this day, is still the only person who writes her correctly.
Yeah.
The only time I enjoy... Every time I read a Harley Quinn comic... If I enjoy it, without fail, I'll go, I know who wrote this.
Paul Dini.
And I'll look at it, and sure enough. Because he's the only one who gets her, because he created her.
I think for the past 2 years, the person who's been writing for her has been Amanda Connor or somebody else. And, I get that a lot, that look you just gave me. I get that look a lot when I say that, Amanda Connor's going to be writing this comic. And you always see the same look from everybody. They're just like, oh, she's writing for something. Not drawing it.
Well, that wasn't why I gave that look. I gave that look because, of course, it would be a woman ruining Harley Quinn.
Fair enough.
Of course, it would be some wannabe empowered fucking Tumblrina who, God, they don't want to acknowledge what makes the character special because they think it's derogatory now. DC, either they don't want to acknowledge it or they just don't get it. DC doesn't understand why people love Harley Quinn. They don't understand why this character, who was created 20 years ago, is as popular and as important to the cultural zeitgeist as Spider-Man and Superman and Batman, who were all created 70 years ago. They don't want to acknowledge the reason why so many women relate to this character, why so many men can relate to her, why there's so much cosplay of her, why everyone loves this character so much. It's not because she's a wacky, zany Deadpool knockoff. It's not because she's an amoral killer who goes around and commits crimes and stuff. It's not because she's a free spirit or an empowered, take no shit, does whatever she wants, badass suicide girl. People love Harley Quinn because she's a sad, damaged human character. She's relatable. The entire basis of the character is that she fell in love with the wrong person and she knows it. But it's ruined her fucking life. And everyone's been there. That's why the character became so popular in the first place. She's not insane. She's not a wacky, crazy person like the Joker. The only reason that she acts like that is because she's dating the Joker. She has moments... Anything from the old animated series that you watch, anything that Paul Dini has ever written, you can see she'll always... The thing that humanizes the character is these little moments where, the Joker kicks her out on her ass, and she sits there in, an alley, and she goes, How did it get to this? How did my life become this? She's intelligent enough to understand how weak she is and how flawed she is and how fucked up, how badly she's screwed up her own life. She's smart enough to realize it, but she's not quite strong enough to change things. And that's what people relate to, because everyone in the world, it's just, everyone relates to Spider-Man because everyone has guilt. Everyone relates to Superman because everyone feels like they don't belong sometimes. Everyone fucking relates to Batman because their parents got shot watching Zorro. That happened to everyone in the world. All of these characters, everyone relates to Bruce Banner because everyone has a side of themselves they don't like. Everyone loses their temper, or everyone can see these flaws in themselves. And that's what people love about Harley Quinn. She's a flawed fucking person. She doesn't have to be an empowered, wacky Deadpool knockoff going on these crazy mercenary adventures every week. She just has to be a person trying to be better than she is.
And they don't really touch upon that anymore. Like, any of the Suicide Squad comics, even the movie, it's just Mr. J and I'm crazy and I'm cute, but I'm kind of ballistic. Am I gonna kiss you? Am I gonna cut you? You never know. It's
terrible. It's accurate and it's terrible.
Like it, and it's so devastating to me because I really enjoyed the character back then, and if
everyone does. She's a great character. She's a character that didn't exist before in comics. Like that specific moral struggle.
Cartoon.
Yeah, I know. Like that specific moral struggle that defines her of just being in love with the wrong person. Everyone ever has been there. Everyone has felt that pain, and everyone has gone fucking insane from it. Her whole origin is just that love can make you crazy. Not that she's crazy and so she fell in love. Right. That's the misunderstanding that I think is the basis of all these crappy new comics. Mm-hmm. It's just incredibly frustrating that none of these writers seem to get her, or that they don't want to acknowledge. I think they don't want to acknowledge it because people have it in their heads now that it's like somehow derogatory to women to acknowledge the fact that the basis of this character is that she's weak.
But it's not derogatory to constantly throw her into that situation time and time again.
She's weak and she's in love. She's a hopeless romantic, and she's and she's abused, and no one wants to. It seems like they're trying to move away from that because you can't. It's not a good role model anymore.
Well, okay.
As if her being like an insane psychopath serial killer is any better of a role model.
Right, and actually it's a funny line that people ride upon when it comes to Harley Quinn. So if you haven't seen the new Suicide Squad movie or any of the interviews with Margot, is that her name? Margot Robbie?
Yeah.
Whatever. She explicitly says that that she really wished they had touched upon the whole, the actual abuse, because so far it's only been glorified.
Yeah. That movie, Suicide Squad, was weirdly romantic. Like, they seem to really love each other in that movie.
But
like, he loved her a lot. He was like obsessed with getting back to her the whole movie.
Which isn't really that much like the Joker, I guess.
I mean,
I haven't seen the Suicide Squad movie. If you didn't know.
Well, the whole Suicide Squad movie is that like the Joker is so in love with Harley Quinn that he's on a rampage trying to get back to her, and he's like there's like this scene where like he is so broken up about Harley not being there that he like goes in this room with all these knives and he lays on the floor and cries like a 14-year-old emo kid. He's crying over not having his boo with him.
Are you serious?
Yeah. The whole Suicide Squad movie is about the Joker. He just wants his girlfriend back because he's really in love with her.
That's not very characteristic of him. This is coming from the character who has actively gone against Harley Quinn because she went out of her way to try and do something to appeal to him, to please him, such as kidnapping Batman and trying to, kill him in a way that would be funny to both her and the Joker. But, he fucking gets angry at her for it. He's like, how dare you do this? And throws her out a fucking window for it.
Yeah.
This is coming from that relationship. This is coming from the relationship where he's like time and time again, like tried to kill her over and over. What the fuck? Are you serious? That's Suicide Squad.
Well, I'm not as against the Jared Leto Joker as everyone else is. I know it looks fucking retarded.
It does look retarded.
But to me, I think a big aspect of the character, the Joker specifically, what makes the Joker such a good character is that he is inherently open to interpretation. Like, I don't think there can really be a wrong Joker. I mean, that Young Justice episode was pretty bad.
Young Justice episode. Is it the oddly young-looking Joker? And
He looked like David Tennant.
yeah. Oh
Yeah.
God, he did. Don't do this to me. Ew.
Yeah. So there can be a wrong Joker. Never mind. Forget what I just said.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so rewinding back to the whole like abusive situation that Harley Quinn has been in. So there's been tons and tons and tons of stuff that's touched upon that. Have you ever read Gotham City Sirens?
Yes.
That was another like miniseries. I say miniseries kind of loosely because it was like 2 volumes long, but that was 2 volumes long. I guess now never mind. Anyway, wasn't that ongoing of a series, but they touched upon like, you know, Harley Quinn trying to overcome what she dealt with, the trauma of being in a relationship with Joker, and, you know, Poison Ivy and Catwoman both trying to support her through it.
Yeah.
And Injustice, even though that's not in the same universe, they touch upon that a lot. In fact, I remember there was a scene specific to Harley Quinn, and God, he's like one of my favorite characters. Starts with an L. He comes from outer space. He kicked the shit out of Superman. Lobo.
Yes.
Thank you. God, I don't know why that left my brain for a second. He's one of my favorite characters. The original, not the new 52 redesign. I don't want to talk about that. But there's a scene in Injustice where Lobo like backhands Harley Quinn, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And, you know, she like spits for a second and like looks at him and says, you know, she acknowledges that, you know, if there's anything that she's learned in like her long line of being Harley Quinn is that she's never going to take shit from anybody ever again. Yeah. And of course she's specifically talking about Joker.
I actually really like the Injustice comics. I think that's...
I swing between liking it and hating it, honestly.
To me, the Injustice comics, for being like an Elseworlds, the characters in that still seem like more in character than in most mainline DC publications.
They've definitely gone some dark routes with that one. But yeah, Harley Quinn specifically says, you know, she's been abused long enough. She's never going to accept this again. And I guess she ends up throwing Lobo out the window or something. Something absurd for like Harley Quinn level strength, considering Lobo is who he is.
Well, Harley Quinn is super strong. Or she was before the New 52. I don't know if they changed it.
Well, Harley Quinn.
But there was a long time where like Poison Ivy had given her a serum that gave her like Captain America reflexes.
I remember that. Oh God, you know.
I think they only remember that when it's convenient to the plot, but that was a thing.
You're not wrong, probably.
Yeah. But yeah, the thing about like to me the core of the character of Harley Quinn, and remember I'm right. So objectively the core of the character is just that she's a good person who surrounds herself with bad people, bad influences, toxic influences. If not for, you know, she could be a force for good in the world. If not for the fact that her boyfriend is a bad guy, her best friend is a bad guy, Poison Ivy. Her boyfriend, the Joker, is, you know, a mass murdering psychotic terrorist. Her best friend, Poison Ivy, is a man-hating eco-terrorist. You know,
even Catwoman.
Catwoman is a fucking burglar, and not that there's anything wrong with burglaring.
Well, she's what they would call an anti-hero, I guess.
Yeah. But that's like the core of the character. Like everybody has someone like that in their lives. Everybody knows someone who, you know, is better than the people they surround themselves with, who has bad influences and does dumb shit and becomes a burden on everyone they love. You know, she's just so much about the way the character was originally written and originally conceived is so human and so relatable, and that's why she took off. She just like skyrocketed immediately. She's only existed for 20 years. And
she's charming.
Yeah, and she's like one of the pillars of comic book media. And that's why.
One of my favorite episodes revolving around Harley Quinn was like the one I think where it's just Batman and Harley. Like, I don't know if you remember that from the animated series, but I really liked that episode.
Yeah,
it really...
the one where she kisses him at the end and says, "You're not a bad guy, B-Man."
There's so much that...
I think that episode is actually in the opening of the panel cast. It's when...
Home again.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah. God, Harley Quinn is just... It's complicated. Like, I understand that, you know, DC has to have an answer to Marvel regardless, and they have to have some kind of balance to the dark and grittiness that is DC comic books. Because if you look at Rebirth and if you look at New 52, it's prominently like dark. It's dark, it's scary, it's violent. And then you have Harley Quinn, who, yes, is still violent, but they have all this bubbly, wacky shit going on.
Yeah, and like, she has too much of a sense of humor. She's too wacky.
She never takes anything seriously, it seems like.
And like, she's not...
Even Deadpool has his moments where he, like, steps back.
Yeah, Deadpool is a more serious character than modern Harley is.
Holy shit. The issue of Deadpool...
There are very sad Deadpool comics.
One of the more recent issues of Deadpool is where he is trying to help out this girl who he finds on top of the Spider-Man's fucking.
I talked about that in the panel cast.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. That was a really great issue.
Yeah, there was that whole arc from Brian Posehn where Deadpool and Captain America and Wolverine went to go fight some Weapon X bad guys, and he was looking for like his old girlfriend who was pregnant with his daughter or whatever. And you know, Deadpool finds this like mass grave of bodies, and in the mass grave he finds his old girlfriend, and it's like a really sad. He's like crying and like yelling, and Captain America is like, "No!"
Deadpool has had some very intense moments. Like, you know,
it's like they're trying to make her Deadpool, but they're also making her a worse Deadpool because she doesn't have they're not giving her any of that pathos.
They're not giving back the depth that she used to have.
Yeah,
Deadpool still has depth. And, you know, I still get upset when people will be like, oh, another Deadpool comic. He's just another wacky, zany piece of shit. And it's like...
Yeah, it's not the character's fault that
it's really
he's marketable.
Not.
I mean...
And, you know, I guess you could say the same for Harley. It's not really her fault.
Yeah.
She is totally marketable. Sex sells.
Even the Deadpool movie, you know, had a core to it. It had, like, an emotional core. There was none of that in the Suicide Squad movie.
And, well, if in all fairness, Ryan Reynolds really has, like, a passion when it comes to comic books. And I know a lot of people will, like, look at the Green Lantern movie and be like, are you sure about that statement? It's like, but that's not really his fault. He did not have a great hand in the Green Lantern like he did in Deadpool.
Yeah.
But anyway.
It's just sad to me that they've taken this character who had so much depth to her and was such an interesting character that you could write stories about forever, and due to, you know, marketing or misunderstanding or whatever, they've devolved her into this, like, warped perversion, this parody of what the character once was, of just like, I'm gonna kill everybody, and I have a talking squirrel for a best friend, and there's Poison Ivy, and we're just lesbians now. We're just lesbians.
I don't... You know, it doesn't bother me.
And she's a wacky, crazy person. And that's another thing. Like, the constant, like, the masturbatory, I'm so crazy shit. Yeah. It's so annoying. Because... she's not crazy.
You can't hold me against what I do because I'm a little crazy.
Yeah.
Cuckoo bananas.
I'm a little Looney Tune girl.
Cuckoo.
It's
shit.
She's not supposed to be crazy. She's just dependent, and she's a thrill seeker, I guess, but she's not psychotic. Like, they had an episode in the animated series, a whole episode written by Paul Dini, where, like, at the beginning of the episode, she passes a test, and she's certified sane, and she's released from Arkham.
Yeah.
And the only reason she ends up back in Arkham at the end is because she can't acclimate to being free again, to society's rules again, because she's been in this fucked up lifestyle for so long. It's kind of like a commentary on, like, people getting released from jail and stuff, and going right back because they can't acclimate to society anymore.
Right.
But, you know, that's how the creator of the character always wrote her. She's completely sane. She's just retarded. You know?
That's one way to put it.
She's just a flawed human being, and she's interesting to read. And I know like the comeback to everything I'm going to say is,
oh no.
Well, why can't the character evolve? Why can't there be character development? Why can't she move on from the Joker?
Money. No,
I'm like,
in my opinion, like this, it's marketability.
I'm not saying that the character can't evolve. I'm all for character development. I've made many videos about how much I love character development in all media, but that's no excuse to have... Character development has to be natural and logical. You can't just rewrite everything about a character and, like, try to fit a square peg into a round hole. And that's what they're doing with Harley Quinn. They're taking a character who is one thing, and they're constantly trying to ram it down our throats in a way that the character shouldn't be and was never intended.
Well, I mean, you can't deny that. You know, they won't let her evolve.
I mean...
They won't.
Yeah, she's gonna be fucking this crappy Deadpool thing forever.
And, you know, every now and then you're gonna get, like, these glimpses of hope just like these moments of clarity from her. And that's all you're ever going to get from DC when it comes to Harley Quinn right now. You're not going to see like any like true redeemable anything coming from them, because it's all about what sells. And Harley Quinn right now, regardless of how we feel, specifically you and I, because it sells. This new Harley Quinn fucking sells. Do you know how when the Halloween party you went to, how many Harley Quinns did you see? I'm curious.
At this year's Halloween party?
Yeah.
I don't think I saw any, but I know what you mean. There's always Harley Quinns.
But it's like the new Harley Quinn, and that's what I saw a lot of. And this is...
Oh, you know what? Yeah, you're right. There might have been some Suicide Squad Harley Quinns.
Yeah, no. Again, marketability. Like, DC needs to make money somehow. Yeah. And if Harley Quinn is going to be like that little golden goose fucking egg layer, then whatever, fine. And if this system works for them, that's fine. But I will never actively read or encourage Harley to anybody. Yeah. If they say, hey, I've never read the new Harley Quinn comics, what do you think? Well, I will always point them to the older stuff.
Well, that's what I mean is that, like, because in the comics, you know, she's not like the Joker's girlfriend anymore or anything. She's like a strong, independent woman who needs no man. So that's like their answer to all of these complaints is that, like, well, no, she has developed as a character because she's not just she hasn't developed. You've just changed her. Changing her isn't developing her.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, like, if you, she had already developed and not been the Joker's girlfriend anymore. She was like that before the New 52, and it was fine, because she developed naturally.
Well, it's also been an on-again, off-again thing, honestly.
Yeah.
I think it's only, like, recently, like, post Gotham City Sirens that she's finally been like, if you ever touch me again, Joker, I'll fucking kill you.
Yeah.
Which we know will never happen.
And, like, the whole, like, crazy, like, in the movie... In the Suicide Squad movie, there's like a brief flashback to how she became Harley Quinn. And it shows the Joker literally giving her shock treatment to make her crazy.
Ew. Ew, are you serious?
Yeah.
Are you serious? Ew.
Like,
no.
Could you get it more wrong? That's not even just wrong. It's like a perversion. It takes away everything that's cool about her origin.
No, God, he's so much better than that. Like, okay, so first of all, I know Joker's not beyond torment, but he's also like...
The thing that makes him scary is that he can make you fall in love with him. He can make a normal, sane person fall in love with him with just talking. That's like his power.
He is a true psychopath.
Exactly.
Not sociopath, mind you, a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
There is no remorse. He does what he does because if it works, it will work in his favor, and he knows it works.
Electrocuting somebody's brain to make them crazy like you.
No.
That's not interesting. That's not scary.
Well, don't kink shame him. Are you sure it was to make her crazy? It wasn't just like this weird foreplay?
They heavily implied that he gave her shock treatment to make her crazy.
Well, then okay. That's disappointing.
Yeah.
Well, what the fuck?
So, like, yeah, she's not like a person who was seduced to the dark side or lulled by the Joker into becoming a worse person. She's just a person who was basically,
just cattle prod me,
yeah,
Mr. J.
she was just made crazy. And I guess that's how shock treatment works. You just become a serial killer.
I guess so. Gee, I guess I've been doing it wrong for like these past 20 years.
I read a Suicide Squad comic recently that pissed me off so much. It was this there was like a riot at Blackgate Prison or whatever the prison is called. Is Blackgate Marvel?
Okay, so
no, Rikers is Marvel.
I'm just gonna have to take your word for it because I have not actually read a Suicide Squad comic since King Shark.
Oh God.
And that's another conversation for another day because King Shark, I fucking love King Shark, but let's not.
I fucking love King Shark.
I fucking love King Shark. I had a friend the other day. He was like, "Hey, I just saw the Suicide Squad movie, but I heard that that it wasn't supposed to be Croc. It's supposed to be King Shark. What do you know about King Shark?" And I just imagined myself like running across the United States of America to blast down his fucking front door all the way in California and slide in like in a baseball game to home base and be like, "Let me tell you about King Shark, motherfucker." But I have not actually actively read.
He sounds pretty jawsome.
God. I will never forgive you for that. Just so you know. Anyway, But I'm just gonna have to take your word for any kind of Suicide Squad beyond the
Yeah.
New 52 original New Suicide Squad.
There was a Suicide Squad comic recently where, like, it was at the prison. All the Suicide Squad bad guys were there or whatever. And there was something released through the vents or whatever. Some gas or something. Mm-hmm. And what are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? What
Keep
are you
talking.
doing?
Keep talking.
I can't talk. You're distracting me. What the? I get it. I see. She's Googling King Shark. I see him.
I'm trying to find something.
God damn it.
Go on. Go on.
Oh, yeah. I guess he was on The Flash. King Shark.
Yeah, I've never watched The Flash.
No one has.
I don't like any of
All those fucking WB. I hate them all.
Thank you. Go on.
But okay, so this fucking Suicide Squad comic that came out recently, there was something in the prison, in the atmosphere, or in the vents that made everyone go insane. Everyone went crazy, right? All the inmates lost their minds and started becoming crazy people. But because Harley Quinn is already so crazy, it made her sane again. That's what the storyline is called. It's called Sane Again. So now that she's sane again, Dr. Harleen Quinzel can get to the bottom of this and solve this crisis.
She's not crazy.
Because that's her superpower. She's insane. She's wacky.
She's not. This isn't. This is.
Ah!
Ladies and gentlemen, this was the day that Jesse left this earth forever.
I must go now. My planet needs me.
Oh my god. I remember you telling me about that, and I was just like, what the fuck are you talking about? Are you serious?
I've never been more disappointed. DC is like a child that has disappointed me for the last time. I have to disown I'm like Jackie Chan's father in Drunken Master. When he gets drunk and he causes that big fucking racket in the town square. I have no son! I disown you! And Jackie Chan has to fucking go and drown his sorrows alone and cry. And then he has to redeem himself by fighting the guy in the foundry with the lava. You ever seen Drunken Master?
I haven't, but that sounds amazing.
Drunken Master's a masterpiece.
I love
Welcome,
Jackie Chan.
Welcome to the Legend of Drunken Master podcast, where we talk about the greatest film ever made. That's it. That was the whole. We just talked about it.
Oh my god.
What was I saying? Yeah, but that's me talking to DC Comics. I'm Jackie Chan's father, disowning them.
God, I don't like that. I don't like.
I don't like
it.
it. I don't like it one bit. No, sir. I don't like it. I need to like regain my composure here. I'm kind of wired from that.
You're all hopped up on
Ugh.
Harley Quinn hate.
I'm kind of tired, but then again, I'm kind of wired. What do you say we go home and I eat your pussy?
Who are you talking to?
That's from a movie.
Oh.
I forgot what movie. I think it's like Nathan Fillion. He says that in some thing.
Oh. Okay. Nathan Fillion.
I'm kind of tired, but then again, I'm kind of wired. What do you say I take you home and eat your pussy?
Some of you are going to realize very quickly that I don't really watch that many movies or TV shows. I sleep a lot.
God, how do I move on from that fucking
You
Harley Quinn
don't.
debacle?
You can't fucking move on
There's
from
no
it.
moving on from it. They took something good. They took a diamond and they squeezed it into coal. Is what they did.
How'd they manage to reverse the process?
I don't know. Yeah, but they did it. That's why she always had. That's why her old costume was a diamond pattern, because that's what she was. She was a diamond. She was my diamond. She was America's diamond. She was America's sweetheart. And they took her, and they raped her, and they ruined her. They turned her into shit. And now the only place she belongs, flushed down the visitor's crapper. Flush her right down the toilet. That's what they ought to do to her now. She's ruined. You sons of bitches. You broke my heart. And you ruined me. Dewey Foley is a 3-year-old boy. You tore my heart out. And you threw it on the ground and you stomped on it.
Do you want a hug? Do you want a hug?
You people wanted Cactus Jack. Well, I gave you Cactus Jack!
Come here, it's okay. It's never gonna be okay, bud. Wow. That was really emotional. And it should be. It should fucking be emotional. You know, I'm sorry if there's a ton of people out there that really like the new Harley and Quinn's ale, and that's fine. I'm not gonna berate you for it, but this is just how I feel about it. This is how we feel about it.
I'm gonna berate. I'll berate if anyone who's listened to me for this long and still doesn't know that I'm 100% objectively true in this case. Then you can go take a long walk off a short pile of shit into a bigger pile of shit. Because you are a pile of shit.
We all have our guilty pleasures, Jesse.
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
Jesus. How long has this been going on for?
It's been an hour. You want to keep going?
I don't know. That was pretty good. That was a good. It was a good rant. It was good shitting.
What else even came out this week?
I don't even care anymore.
Bunch of bullshit, it looks like.
I don't fucking care. I guess IVX came out. Whatever. No, that was number 1. I already read that. Oh, I like The Punisher. But I haven't read the new one yet. That's all old. That's all last week. Justice League versus Suicide Squad. Boy, I can't fucking read to read that. I can't fucking wait.
Justice League versus Suicide Squad. Let's read that. Let's read that right now.
Let's see how they portray Harley Quinn in the new Justice League versus the Suicide Squad.
Okay, this is issue 2. I think I read issue 1. But,
well, I don't remember it.
Yeah, there's nothing to remember. It's just they're fighting.
Okay, no, I do kind of remember. Batman hires Lobo to be a good guy because that's what Lobo does now. He's paid and to do what he's fucking told as long as he's paid to do it. So Batman has paid him to be a good guy. Holy shit. Bonus though, it is the old school Lobo that we all grew up with, at least.
Oh yeah.
However, what the fuck? Did you ever read the new 52 Lobo?
I did not. Nor will I ever.
You don't need to. Okay, so for those of you who haven't read the new 52 Lobo, or even if you have, you know, it doesn't fucking matter. I'm going to say it anyway. The new 52 Lobo, when it came out, they basically tried to say that the old school Lobo that we all knew and loved, you know, the one from the Superman animated series, you know, a big, bulky, voiced by Brad Garrett, that glorious hound of a man. He was an imposter. He was never the real Lobo, if you didn't know that. The real Lobo was basically the model for the front cover of a romance novel. He was this handsome, muscular, like, pretty boy. Something out of Final Fantasy, almost. And they decided that they were going to make him the new Lobo. And that he was going to kill the old Lobo, if I remember correctly. If I don't remember correctly, fuck you, I don't care. This new Lobo has me all sorts of discombobulated. And the new Lobo, he could basically do anything that the old Lobo could do, except he, if I remember correctly, had, like, super ridiculous regenerative powers, like Deadpool level regenerative powers. Like, if you cut off his head, he'd probably be fucking fine in, like, an hour or 2 or something. I don't even fucking know. And, you know, there was already a lot about the new 52 Lobo that I didn't like. But I read all the way through it anyway, just so that I could try to, you know, understand it and DC and why people read it. And I'm not saying that there were a lot of people that read it. I did not have very many sub-customers that had it on their sub. I'd say maybe like 3 or 4 tops. And there might have been more at one point, but, you know, they all dropped it. In fact, I don't think even a whole lot of people tried to subscribe to it to begin with. They just kind of, like, picked it up one day and they're like, yeah, I guess I'll take a look at it. Maybe it'll be good. And it just stayed on their sub for whatever reason. They're just like, you know, fuck it. I guess I'll just finish it. But there's this entire scene where Lobo, New 52 Lobo, is pitted against the Red Lantern Corps. And he fucking kills all of them. He kills them. He kills the Red Lantern Corps. He tears apart Atrocitus. He tears apart the cat.
I'm gonna fart again! Look out! No! Oh, I'm shitting my pants! Ah! Ew!
I felt.
I shit myself.
We're gonna keep going anyway. So, that's basically how I felt. You know, in all fairness, though, they did renege on that later. They basically.
Now who's saying the N-word?
Shut up.
Tell me more about how they reneged.
I have an excuse. I've been drinking.
When everyone's injured and your basketball team only has white people, do you need to renege before the big game?
Suck my balls. Suck them. In all fairness, they did to go back and they basically said that, oh, just kidding, the Red Lantern Corps still lives.
Do you think that after 4 years of Trump in the White House, America's going to want to renege?
Of course they are. You know, did you know that Obama actually said that if he ran for president again, he'd win again, if like against Trump or whatever? I don't fucking know. It doesn't matter.
Are you not allowed to run? You're not allowed to have a third term.
No, you're not. It's an American thing, I guess. Doesn't matter. I don't know anything about politics.
Welcome to the politics cast, and now we're talking about. You know what else pisses me off about Harley Quinn? The whole bleaching her skin thing. How the Joker now her new origin is that he bleached her skin to look more like him.
Whoa! Hold the fucking phone. When did that happen? Was that a New 52
That was
thing?
a New 52 thing.
Ew.
Yeah.
I remember now. I did not like that. Okay.
She used to be such a cutie pie. She'd take off her outfit and her makeup, and she'd be normal.
So before New 52, Gotham City Sirens actually ended right as the New 52 started, and in Gotham City Sirens, she did not have bleached skin. She was an adorable little Harleen Quinzel, and I loved her. I loved Gotham City Sirens. I love Gillum What's-His-Face's artwork. Even though he didn't finish the series, he started it, and it was wonderful, and then he started the Catwoman series for New 52, and I liked that series while it lasted. But anyway, why? Why did they bleach her skin?
You know
what's the point?
You know what's cool about Harley Quinn?
I'm gonna drink some more.
Is that she wasn't just the Joker's girlfriend. She was his number one lackey. She was
his bottom bitch.
She was like his Robin. And she could do things that the Joker couldn't.
Mm-hmm.
Like, for example, walk into a place like a normal person and, like, be in disguise. Because she doesn't look like the fucking Joker. She looks like a regular person. That's like her superpower. That's her asset to the Joker as a lackey. It's not just her glorious tiny little pussy that he loves getting inside with his nasty green tongue. It's the fact that she can take the makeup off and sneak into places for him and, like, mingle and shit. So isn't the Joker supposed to be like an evil genius? Isn't he supposed to be smart? How fucking stupid is it for him to like make her look like him? That's taking away that asset.
Okay, so I have a theory already on that. I think they did it to try and emphasize the whole abusive situation. I think they tried to make it to where he was marking her. Yeah, no, that's how I feel too. I just fucking jerk it off, whatever.
Jerk it off.
But that makes sense, right?
I
like
guess.
they want to emphasize the abusive part of the relationship.
I think it all just came from wanting everyone to have edgy, new, hot topic-y redesigns in the New 52.
Yeah,
they wanted her with the black and red pigtails and the white skin.
That's probably an even better theory.
Yeah. I think it was purely idiotic marketing that did that.
I remember that scene. I remember it was kind of rapey too. Like he dips her in there, and like when he takes her out, he's like holding her like firmly by the chin, and she's like sucking in her bottom lip like nervously, and he's just like he's doing his little like Joker grin. Yeah. I remember. Oh dear God, I tried to forget, and you reminded me, and now I'm gonna drink some more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Fuck.
Fuck.
I'm just gonna say it. I hate new Harley Quinn. I hate it. I can't bring myself to. I'm not gonna. No, I am. I'm gonna kink shame people
why
here.
do you keep trying to clarify
Because
yourself?
I'm trying to be a good person, but Harley Quinn in this current era does not make me a good person. Nothing about it helps me in any kind of way. I don't like it. I don't think she has depth. I don't like the way she looks. I don't like anything about the new Harley Quinn. It just needs to stop.
I hate how much they push the whole lesbian thing now with her and Poison Ivy. Like they really ram it down your throats in these comics.
You know, Tumblr loves it.
You know, like Paul Dini always hinted at it. It used to be like a cute little,
yeah, you make me so thorny.
Yeah. Like it was always like, okay, yeah, we get it. They're probably munching some carpet behind closed doors. That's cool. That's cute. We get it. But now it's just like, okay, we fucking get it. Like every other comic is them like, "Hey Ivy, you wanna fucking finger me in the puss? You wanna finger my puss? Yeah, I wanna finger your puss. How about you finger my puss, baby?" That's my Poison Ivy.
That's a pretty good Poison Ivy.
I come here to kill all men and finger some puss.
That's the Megan Fox Poison Ivy.
The Megan Fox Poison Ivy. I can't wait.
Ew! I can't wait.
With her, I guess she'll have a green thumb. Because Megan Fox is known for her gross thumbs.
I've never seen her thumbs. Is it like Danny's thumbs?
That's like a meme. Megan Fox has toe thumbs.
Like short thumbs?
Like their toes.
So is it on the same level as like Danny Sexbang thumbs?
What's wrong with Danny Sexbang's thumbs?
Well, they always make fun of Danny Sexbang's thumbs.
Megan
Fox thumbs. Oh, yeah, I guess she does have kind of stubby thumbs.
Oh, that's really gross. Ew! Oh my god, it's worse than I thought! Oh god!
Hey, look up Danny Sexbang's thumbs.
Oh, it's like if her thumb was a person, it would have no knees.
Oh, so like Cotton from King of the Hill?
Ugh.
Did her thumbs kill 50 men?
Yeah, she's got cotton thumbs. Oh my god! What is that? Oh god!
Stop zooming in!
Oh, good for you! And how was it?
Oh, no.
Megan Fox discusses her wonky thumbs. Ugh, gross. I don't want to look at her ever again.
Well, you're gonna, because they're talking about making her the new Poison Ivy. Don't do it.
Don't like it.
Don't do it. You know who was a good Poison Ivy?
They made her April O'Neil too.
That was a mistake. Whole movie was a mistake.
What is it with like perfect, beautiful redheads being ruined by Megan Fox?
You know, one of my favorite things that I remember you saying about the TMNT movie when it first came out was, like, Splinter learns karate.
Oh yeah.
Through a book. And I'm like,
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
And
you were like, well, it's good to know that there is no God.
Yeah. That's the Turtles, the 2012 one. Splinter finds a karate book in the garbage, and that's where he learns to be a ninja.
You know what? You know what's been... Oh, Jesse.
What?
Shit.
What?
Did you read any of the Batman TMNT comic books?
Of course I did. I have it.
Have you read the new one?
The one that's based on the new cartoon?
It's actually, like, it's the Batman animated... and the TMNT, like, the current generation, I guess, on Nickelodeon.
I did not.
It's actually good!
Well,
It's actually fucking good! Okay, I don't like the new TMNT, like, cartoon for the most part. Like, I'll watch it and kind of humor myself with it every now and then, but I can't, like, watch it consistently. But thankfully, with comic books, you don't have to listen to voices. You only have the voices that are in your own head. But the new Batman TMNT adventures are actually really good.
Well, how about that?
So if you haven't read it yet, I do recommend it. I do feel like a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's not going to be as dark and gritty because, it's Batman going into their universe as opposed to the TMNT going into his universe. But it's good. Like, I want to say trust me, but, to each their own. I enjoyed it.
Do you bleed? You will.
I can't think of anything else to talk about.
Yeah, that's comics for you. They're all shit. They're all bad. And I don't like them.
That's not true.
Did we like some of them? I don't even remember which ones we liked.
Oh,
yeah. I read all the new Doctor Strange recently.
You did? Tell me all about
I got caught up on that. Oh, I haven't read this one yet. So I haven't read the newest one.
Okay, so you read up to 14. Tell me all about it.
It's really good. I like it. It's,
I like the artwork a lot.
So, did you ever read Jason Aaron's original Thor run, his God Bomb arc?
No, I was never really a big fan of Thor.
I love Thor. He's a good boy. He didn't do nothing wrong.
You're probably right. I've never taken the time out to actually, like, actively read anything by Thor. Again, same with the movies. Like, I enjoyed the movies, but they're not my favorite, I don't think.
Thor was a good boy. He didn't deserve to get replaced by a woman. It was wrong.
Whoa, the misogynist over here.
Shut up.
What's wrong with a woman, Thor? You guys can't see it, but I'm trying to do the trout mouth.
The trout mouth, yeah.
The trout mouth that Tumblr social justice warriors do. What's wrong with Thor being a woman?
Ugh. So this Doctor Strange, Jason Aaron wrote this. He also wrote Thor for a long. He's been writing Thor for like 7 years. Stop it. Quit being ugly. So
Are you saying that all social justice warriors are ugly? I'm sorry. Go on.
saying that all people are ugly until proven innocent. Jason Aaron wrote a Thor comic, and his Doctor Strange comic is basically the same comic. It's the same. His first arc in Doctor Strange is like the same as his first arc in Thor. Where like in Thor, it was this guy. There was this guy called Gore who hated gods, and he wanted to kill all the gods. And in Doctor Strange, there's this guy who hates magic, and he wants to kill all the magics.
I can relate to both of them.
But it's really cool. He like, you can tell that he's really, it's because of the movie, and they're trying to make Doctor Strange like a lot more relatable and down to earth and stuff. So Doctor Strange in this is like a regular guy who has to deal with a lot of magical bullshit. He has to eat gross food. He hates it. He's always sick. He has to fight monsters. He goes into like this special bar that only magic people can go into. Like Dr. Voodoo is in there, Ilyana Rasputin is in there, and like Scarlet Witch, and they all hang out and do magic stuff together. They have drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so these guys are killing all the magic. They take all the magic out of the world.
Oh.
And Doctor Strange has to fight back. And it's cool. And they really, they try to like, I don't know if I'm too far from the mic here. I feel like I'm scooting away from it. They introduced this concept of like all magic coming from somewhere. Like it, every time that Doctor Strange uses magic, unbeknownst to him, there's always a price somewhere. So like, there's a bunch of people so like Wong has a bunch of dudes in a secret temple somewhere that Doctor Strange doesn't know about, like taking all the pain from all of his magic that he uses.
What the fuck?
Yeah, and it's interesting and it's cool. And he fights the guy, but then at the end of it, at the end of that story arc, it's like it's taken all of the magic out of the world. Or like it's taken a significant amount of the magic out of the world.
I was gonna say that might explain the new Doctor Strange versus the Punisher. Well, it's not versus the Punisher.
Which it seems like, that's like a big shift in the status quo, but it's so vague that it's not really a shift at all. Mm-hmm. Like, oh, you've taken out most of the magic in the world. Well, what does that mean? He's still using magic.
Yeah.
Like now and now it's like, oh, ever since the magic was taken out of the world, doing this is a lot harder. And then he does magic.
And he does it anyway.
So it's kind of a pointless, not really much of a shift in the. It's not much of a status quo shift.
In all fairness, it may affect.
They tried. An attempt was made.
I was gonna say, in all fairness, it might affect other characters in the long run. I'm sure we'll see it. We'll see some of it later. But go on. I'm sorry.
Well, that's basically it. I mean, then the second story arc picks up, and right now he's in a car. It's driven by the Orb, the guy with the eyeball for a face. And I haven't read this issue yet, but I'll get to it.
I really like the new Doctor Strange
series. I like it. It's been good.
I think Doctor Strange is kind of an interesting character in the sense that, even though he's in the Marvel Universe, and there's even a movie out for him now, which you and I both saw and talked about a little bit on the last podcast.
Yeah.
But, he's not exactly the easiest character to just kind of slip into any Marvel comic book. It's like Constantine,
Yeah.
Like, you can't just throw him in with anybody. And I say that, of course, after they immediately throw him together with the Punisher. But there's just so much to Doctor Strange and his abilities that it almost feels pointless to try and get him to team up with anybody else, because you remember Civil War. You remember, like, the first Civil War run where
Punisher killed, like, 5 guys.
But Spider-Man's like, hey, Doctor Strange, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to get everybody to forget that I ever revealed my identity to anybody.
Yeah.
And, Doctor Strange's like, okay, you got one. And then Spider Island happens, and Spider...
Oh, no. Doctor Strange said, no, that's impossible. Even I can't do that.
But it happens anyway.
Maybe if you strike up a deal with Satan, maybe that can do it.
Yeah. I don't... God. I do remember He did something. I could have swore, like, up and down that he fucking did something in Civil War along that vein. Because I remember in the Amazing Spider-Man's run of Spider Island, where Spider-Man's like, "Hey, Doctor Strange, can you do me another favor?" And Doctor Strange's like, "No!" And he just, like, fucks off forever. You know, whatever. Maybe I'm getting things mixed up. But anyway, I really like the new Doctor Strange run. I like the artwork. I like the character. I like the way that he's written. I like the dialogue. There's a lot about the new, like, Doctor Strange. There's very few, like, Marvel comics that I actively, like, sit and go, yeah, this is fucking good. Doctor Strange is one of those titles. But this is also coming from the same person who says that Fool Killer is fucking fantastic, which I stand by that. Holy shit, it's a fucking fantastic comic book. It's totally underrated for anybody who hasn't been reading it. It's great. I know Jess hasn't been reading it, but, you know, did you even read Mercs? Like, the Mercs for...
No.
Mercs for Money, I guess it's called?
Nah. I'm looking at this DC holiday special right now.
Oh, with Harley Quinn, more Harley Quinn, all the Harley Quinn,
Hey.
the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn.
Hey, she looks pretty sexy right there with her legs spread open, opening that present.
The present that's in front of her box, the box that's in front of her box.
Yeah, I like that.
I like Batman sipping on the tiny cup of tea. That's my fetish. But anyway, if you're not reading Doctor Strange, I recommend it. You know, there's so very few Marvel titles, like I said, that I actually actively read. Doctor Strange is actually one of those titles that I currently read. And Fool Killer is another one that I actively read. Before that was Vision, which, you know, Jesse and I both talked about Vision already. But I'm just gonna fucking say it again. If you didn't pick up Vision yet, do it. There's only 2 volumes, and they're both fucking glorious.
That's right. And is that it? That's the panel cast, everybody?
I can't think of anything else. Yeah.
Comics suck, and we hate them. The end.